Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with my beautiful wife, Karina from Venezuela, who keeps kicking the table. I think she's trying to knock the camera off. There we go. She's not. She's trying to destroy the whole YouTube station. I'm messing with you. How's everybody doing? It's time for your live stream from the K1 Visa Studios here in the Panhandle, Florida. And if you are in the process of processing a K1 visa, or if you need help processing a green card, then I'm here to help you for free, obviously. Now, my beautiful wife, Karina, she is from Venezuela. And obviously, we understand, you all know out there, Venezuela suffered a terrible event, a terrible tragedy, two back-to-back earthquakes within a minute of each other. And then aftershocks a few days after that. And it's just a horrible thing that's going on in Karina's hometown of Caracas, Venezuela. If I can get this microphone where Karina's not blurry, it seems like when I have the microphone here, Karina's blurred. When I move it over here, then she's no longer blurred. How's that? Is that better? I don't know. It's like every time, wherever I put this thing, Karina's blurred. Maybe I move over here and Karina moves closer. How's that? Is that better? All right. There we go. I'm just going to move the microphone over here. Now, we put this YouTube channel together in Bogota, Colombia, and the whole purpose of this YouTube channel is for me to answer your questions right here on a live stream. If you have a question, ask me the question. I'll give you the answer. I know the answer. I've been processing green cards and K1 visas for over 13 years. 13 years I've been doing this. I've been processing green cards and K1 visas through different presidents, through different political climates, total. So if you need my help, here's a place for you to come and ask the questions. Now, if you join as a member, I'll give you the person that joins as a member of this channel down here somewhere, you can join. Go into the members only section, get my phone number, text me your address, and I'll mail you that bag of coffee. Join as a member today, and you will get a free bag of Canon Costco medium roast Colombian coffee just for signing up as a member. I think it's worth probably about $30 for this. I don't know. Now, Francois Livingston is a member of this channel. She's first up the bat. Good evening, Diego and Karina. So good to see you both. Well, we're glad to see you, Francois. How is Hamid doing up there in upstate New York? We hope he's doing well. The whole world is going through turmoil with earthquakes in, where Oregon, California, wasn't there one in California? Earthquakes in Japan, Venezuela, all over the world. Francois, Karina, pregunta para ti. How is your family in Venezuela?
Good, thank you.
How is your family in Venezuela?
My family is good. Thank you for the question.
Look at that. Her English is getting better. Look, see that? So Karina's hometown of Caracas was basically destroyed, decimated, pancaked. Nothing really left except, a few apartments and a few it was just a horrible thing. So Karina's entire city basically was wiped out, but her mom and her dad and her sister and her friends are good. Just minor injuries, minor stuff, the apartment or the house, Karina's mother's house and her aunt's house, her tia's house was structurally damaged, which is, but they're alive. So we can fix the house. We're glad they didn't get any worse than what happened. Francois Livingston, Karina, your English is improving so good. Francois, she's getting there, isn't she? She's doing good. We want to get her as an American citizen. She qualifies for American citizenship in June of 2027, which is what? Actually, 11 months from now, June, yeah. So next year, she can qualify for U.S. citizenship. That is, unless the Trump administration continues to block in violation of the Immigration and Nationality Act, in violation of a federal judge. The Trump administration are running rampant, thinking they can run this country without representation, without following the congressional law, without following the Immigration and Nationality Act. And they're already losing. They're losing in the courts. Now, let's talk about the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. The 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution guarantees if you're born in America, you're an American citizen. If you're born here, you're a U.S. citizen. That's what the 14th Amendment basically says. And then President Trump signed an executive order saying that if you're an illegal immigrant and give birth in this country, then your child is not an American. I can understand what his reasoning is, but you don't change the law with an executive order. You change the law with congressional oversight, with an amendment to the 14th Amendment. You have to amend it through the Congress. You cannot just sign an executive order. And so the U.S. Supreme Court said, President Trump, you cannot change the Constitution with an executive order. So if you are born in this country, whether you are born to an illegal immigrant or not, you are still going to be a U.S. citizen. If Trump wants to change the law, he's going to have to change the law through legislation at the congressional level, not in the Oval Office. Francois, okay, thank you. A fake Mountain Dew salute. I'll give you a Mountain Dew salute, but it's 2%. Actually, this is zero. This is orange juice, but it's zero sugar. To Francois and Hamid. Now, Hamid is from Morocco, but he's lucky. He's in the United States, so he's not being blocked right now. The Trump administration is violating the Immigration and Nationality Act by blocking the adjudication of green cards for folks outside of the United States. We're talking about people from 75 countries who are outside of the United States, who are trying to bring their wives or husbands to the U.S., or their moms and their dads, and etc. And Trump is blocking that. And he has no authority to do that because the Congress put in place a rule that says you will be adjudicated. Either you're going to be approved or you're not going to be approved for your benefit. You can't just put somebody in legal limbo. And President Trump wants to keep on playing these games, violating constitutional rights of Americans. He's going to pay a political price if he keeps on. Francois, when we send our 10-year green card in May 2027, okay, what case number do I put on the papers? You don't put any case number on there. You don't put a case number on there. You just fill out form I-751, okay? And there's no need for a case number. You're just going to fill out the form. And then all the evidence that's going to be with the I-751 for you and Hamid. Remember, when you file form I-751 next year for you and Hamid, it's a joint application. It's a husband and wife application. It's Francois and Hamid asking the U.S. government to grant Hamid permanent residency in the United States, which he's going to get. He'll get it. Don't worry. But there's no case number required. You're going to include the copy of your, receipt number. You can include a copy of your NOA-1 letter, and not the NOA-1 letter. What am I thinking of? The approval letter for your 2-year green card. For Hamid's 2-year green card, you can include the 797C, his approval for his 2-year green card. Include that letter. You're good. I'll help you. I'm going to pull you over the finish line, Francois. We're going to get you through this. You still got a little bit of a way to go, but Karina, she applied for her 10-year green card, no problem. She got her 48-month letter of extension. We had our biometrics. She did her biometrics in New Orleans. That was completed. Hamid's going to go to biometrics. When you file the I-751, about 3 weeks after you file it, you're going to get a letter extending his 2-year green card for another 4 years to 2031. And then he's going to get, about a week after that, he's going to get a letter for biometrics in upstate New York, somewhere where you live. And then you're going to have a 4-year hurry up and wait waiting for his adjudication of his 10-year green card. Francois, just put our names and that is sufficient. In the past, I wrote case number on each page of evidence I sent in. No, you don't have to do that. That is just going to wear out your pen and wear out your finger. You don't have to do that. The Mountain Dew salute was for Karina. Awesome English improvement. Yeah, well, I'm giving you a Mountain Dew salute for giving Karina a Mountain Dew salute. Karina, talk. See, so how is your English, Karina? How is your English, Karina? How is your English?
My English is better every day.
What have you learning? What have you learned today in English? What words did you learn today?
Today, I don't remember.
You don't remember? Sure you do. You remember?
No.
You don't remember?
No.
But how many times a week do you go to English class?
2 days for a week.
4 times a week, right?
Yes.
So you go to English class 4 times a week, and 2 days are in the classroom, and 2 days are where?
In my house.
In the house. Online,
no
right? Online. So she understands what I'm saying, right? That's the first step, right? Karina came to this country with 0 English, nothing, nada, nothing. No, she didn't even understand a thing. But now she's doing great. Now she understands a lot. She understands more than she can speak. She needs to build up her word knowledge. She needs to start saving English words in her head that she can start using in sentences. But she's doing good. Let me see. Francois. Oh, I know you and Karina will see us through. Big thanks. Yeah, we're going to pull you over the finish line. Happy July 1st, by the way. It's July 2026, July 1, and the time goes by pretty quick. So pretty soon, Hamid's going to be up, and Francois, you're both going to be applying for his 10-year green card. You're filing as a couple, remember? Huh?
9 months.
In 9 months, what? Okay, Francois, when we send our 10-year green card in April or May, yeah, that's in 9 months. Very good. Francois, amazing. Yeah, I mean, if you ask Karina a question, okay, you can ask her a question in English. She most likely understands what the question is, but she just has trouble trying to connect the words together in English and responding. But she's doing good, okay? She got another year for her to practice. Lena Earl, good evening all. Hello, Lena. How's everybody? So I got today. So I got this lollipop that is an alien from Area 51. Karina bought me this in Las Vegas. We were in Las Vegas and Karina bought me this. And then when we were in Las Vegas, Karina bought me this alien keychain. The second time we went to Las Vegas. So, and what we're doing right now is if you join as a member, if you join as a member today, we'll send you this free bag of coffee. We'll send you, it's a 30 bag, it's worth $30 and it's $9.99 to join as a member. So you're going to be ahead, what, $20? I don't know. And here's J-Rod. Now if I don't know the answer to a question, he will tell me. Copperhead, hi Diego and Karina and Lena Earl, all is well. Everybody's doing good. We're glad to hear it. And I can do Mountain Dew salutes right here, but there's no Mountain Dew in there. So I got this orange juice, which doesn't have any sugar in it. It's 0 sugar. And Copperhead is hi Diego and Karina. Now, this process, I made a video on the basics for a K1 visa process. But everybody knows the basics for a K1 visa process. So if you need me to make a video for you to help you with anything, let me know what it is, because I think everybody's pretty much got it under control. Most people have figured out how to do this. They watched all the videos that I've made. And then I get people who are members of the channel. They call me, like a lady called me yesterday. She had questions, and I answered her questions and saved her a $400 phone call to an immigration attorney. She just gave me a call. She called me twice with questions, and I answered the questions right off the bat. And she said, well, thanks, Diego. I said, well, that's why I'm here. Because if you join as a member, you get my phone number. You just got to go to the members only videos and look for how to contact Diego. And in there, you're going to find my phone number and my email. then you can call me, text me, and say, hey, I joined as a member, and here's my phone number, and then I know who you are, and I save you in my phone. And then if you have a question on how to process your green card application or K-1 visa, if you don't want to wait for a live stream, you can give me a call or send me a text message with your question. It's probably easier to send me a text message because then I can send you the answer back in the text message. Then you have it in writing. So Copperhead, how are you doing? How's everything going? Have you found a new love yet? I know you're looking, right? Copperhead, you got to look for a new love, right? I saved you from that lady in Philippines. Now, I'm not saying the people in the Philippines are bad, but they're not. They're good people. But you happen to get a bad one. And I saved you from a nightmare. And now we need to, you need to find you a new girlfriend, right? Start over. Don't throw in the towel, right? I didn't. I got Karina. Look at that. And Karina's like, what? What am I talking about? Let's see. Hi, Diego and Karina. Copperhead. David Z. The Supreme Court just slapped us all in the face. Well, how did they do that? How did they slap David? Listen. President Trump signed an executive order to change the 14th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. That's not how you change the Constitution. If President Trump wants to amend the 14th Amendment to make it illegal for illegals to give birth to babies and make them Americans, this has to be amended into the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. So the Supreme Court said to President Trump, look, we understand that you want to stop illegal immigrants from giving birth to Americans in the United States, but in order to change that rule, you have to amend the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. You can't do it with an executive order. So what the Supreme Court did was school President Trump on how this country runs constitutionally. The U.S. Constitution was written to protect everybody, okay, Americans, citizens, and green card holders. Let's see. It was never intended to grant anchor babies citizenship. That's correct. It was intended to give African Americans U.S. citizenship once they were no longer a part of the problems that we had in the past. But the founding fathers didn't envision thousands and thousands of people sneaking in our country illegally and then having babies. So the 14th Amendment has to be amended to prevent that. It was never intended to grant anchor baby citizenship. Well, anchor babies didn't exist back when the founding fathers wrote the Constitution. It wasn't included in their amendment. Or whenever the 14th Amendment was I think it was, when was the 14th Amendment put together? What year was it? When did the Constitution get amended under the 14th Amendment? It needs to be fixed. You got to change the Constitution. You can't fix it with an executive order. You got to do it the right way. And President Trump didn't do it the right way. I'm not trying to bash President Trump because I know what he was doing and what he did. We don't have a problem with it. The only problem is if you want to make it that rule has to be incorporated somehow in the Constitution. So, that's what the Supreme Court said. Now let's see here. But I understand what you're saying, David. Okay, I don't have an issue with what you're saying, but what I have an issue with is the way President Trump is trying to go about doing business. An executive order can be overturned by another president in 2029. So an executive order would only be in effect for 2 years. The founding fathers and what the Supreme Court is saying is if you want to change the law and make it permanent, you got to do it the right way through legislation. It goes to the Congress. It goes to the Senate. Then President Trump can sign it into law. Then it's law. But right now, an executive order is a temporary fix. It's like putting a Band-Aid on an open wound. You can't do that. It's not a permanent fix. So the Supreme Court is basically telling President Trump, listen, dude, if you want to fix this, have a member of Congress write legislation and vote on it and make it a part of the law of the land. Court cases around the time of the 14th Amendment concerned foreign corporations. Right, but it's irrelevant. Foreign corporations, African Americans, who they tried to grant them citizenship, which obviously they deserve. But if you want to make it a rule in this country that if an illegal immigrant gives birth to a child and you don't want that child to be an American citizen, then it has to be legislated through the Congress. You can't sign, it can't be done through executive order. It's only temporary, a temporary fix. It's not, that's no good. That's like the lazy way of running the country. It's laziness. Trump figured it out, and now I'm sure he's going to find members of Congress that are going to write legislation to stop this. What they could do is prevent people who are pregnant coming to the United States as tourists. The Homeland Security could say, if you're pregnant, you can't come into this country as a tourist. I mean, there's other things you can do. Secure the borders is another good thing, right? So if you secure the borders and people can't sneak in the country illegally, then they can't give birth to children in this country if they're illegal immigrants. Secure the borders. Don't let tourists in the country who are pregnant. This is write legislation to make it illegal. There are people, let's suppose an American family went to India on vacation and gave birth to a child in India. They're on vacation, Americans. Is that child going to be an Indian citizen, or is that child an American citizen? The Indian government, I'm sure, will say, your child is an American citizen, not an Indian citizen. Doesn't matter, right? If think of it that way. Let me see here. Lena Earl, 8505. Update my fiance in Jamaica. Okay, update. Okay. Your fiance did the medical on June 5th, June 18th. Got email off vaccine worksheet. Interview was June 24th. They took passport, currently in refusal. Well, every person that goes to a K-1 visa interview, when they first go into the interview and they're processing it, it's going to show refusal. Don't worry about that. If the consular officer said your green card, or excuse me, your K-1 visa was denied for whatever reason, you would have been given a 221G that day. But the consular officer didn't say that, right? In Jamaica, the consular officer said, okay, you're good, you passed, but it's going to show refused until they complete the processing. And then it's going to switch to approved. Every single person who applies for a K-1 visa is going to show refused until the process is completed by the consular officer. Even Karina's, it said refused. Okay? But it's not refused. It's just the way the computers are set up by the State Department. So relax, you're good. Maru. Hello, Diego and Karina. Hello, Maru. Now, Maru, your fiance, he's in Cameroon. Should be getting exciting times. You're getting closer and closer. Your K-1 visa got approved. It's going to be eventually sent to the U.S. Embassy in Cameroon. And then you're going to start getting busy with processing paperwork. And I'll be here to help you, okay? Thomas, SPCNL. Hi, Diego and Karina. My wife has been on medical leave since 2021 and has not filed taxes. Why not? Can I still file along with her when I file my first tax next year in 2027 before filing my 10-year green card? Why isn't she filing taxes? You got to file a tax return even if you didn't make any income, right? Isn't that the way it works? I don't understand. You can't have any tax issues when you apply for a 10-year green card, or especially when you apply for U.S. citizenship. There can be zero tax problems. None, zero, nothing. You got to file taxes together as a family. Yes, you can do that. Joint filing. Lena Earl, no, told him about social media vetting and told him not to worry. Yeah, don't worry. It's good. They got a few more things they got to check over, like the Facebook, if he has a Facebook or Instagram, but don't worry. Karina showed a refusal for her too. in Colombia, but it wasn't. She was approved. Let me see here. Maru, yeah, he's in Cameroon. Thank you for your help and support. We're here for you. We're going to pull you over the finish line, and we're going to help you get him into the United States so you guys can get married. You put together a very good K1 visa package, and I appreciate you letting me look over it for you. And it was good. You did a good job. Very good work. It's not easy. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of sweat equity. Lena Earl, yes, he only had Facebook. So they're just going to go through his Facebook account. And then when they're done doing that, then you're good to go. Don't worry. You know, Karina has an Instagram account. She has the Instagram. I don't use any of that stuff. I used to have a Facebook account, but I got sick and tired of looking at my friends putting their dinner on their Facebook account and their pet dog and what their neighbors are doing in their yard. And, you know, I got sick of it. To me, Facebook is a waste of time. So after I used it to help Karina because it was a good way to post us doing stuff together in Colombia. We'd go on vacation somewhere in Colombia and we'd post it on Facebook. So, you know, I got rid of Facebook as soon as I got Karina into the United States and she got her green card in her hand. I deleted that garbage. Let's see here. Copperhead, the USCIS case status says this. Case was sent to the Department of State March 3rd, 2026. Okay, so it went to the National Visa Center. So what? You've already withdrawn your case. Don't worry about it. You're done. You withdrew your case. You kept copies of the emails, right, that you sent where you withdrew your case against that lady who was trying to rip you off $5,000. You got all the emails. You did everything. You listened to what I told you to do. Just relax. You followed my advice. You did what I said. You're going to be perfectly fine. Okay? Remember, I do not make mistakes on this channel. I have never made a mistake on this channel. You are perfectly good. Don't worry. David, ZZZ, justices were incorrect in saying foreigners are under U.S. jurisdiction. If that was the case, everyone in Canada and Mexico would be under the jurisdiction of the United States. Tourists and illegals do not reside in the United States or a state. So the justices said that foreigners are under U.S. jurisdiction. Legal permanent residents are under U.S., but illegal immigrants are not. Illegal immigrants are under the jurisdiction of their country of origin. So if you are from Australia in the country illegally, your country of jurisdiction is Australia. So you're correct. You're absolutely correct. Illegal immigrants are not under U.S. are not. They're not. Let's see. Copperhead, I was looking to see if the status was shown withdrawn. You're probably not going to see that for a while. It's going to take maybe a year, 9 months. And hard copies. Okay, so you got copies of everything. Just relax, okay? Don't be wearing out your brain cells looking for immigration to update your status because they're very busy right now trying to do what Trump's telling them to do. David, reside in the U.S. or a state. Justice Thomas was correct. Yeah. If you are in this country illegally, your country of jurisdiction is the country of your origin. If you're in this country illegally from Peru, the jurisdiction of your country is Peru. So, you know, here's what I would say. If somebody is in this country illegally from Peru and they go to a doctor for medical help, don't send the bill to the U.S. taxpayer, send the bill to the Peruvian consulate. If you're in this country from England illegally and you get sick and need doctor's care and you can't pay for it, send the bill to the British Embassy in Washington, D.C. Right? If you're a legal permanent resident in this country, like Karina, then Karina her jurisdiction is America, the United States. She's under the jurisdiction of the United States because she's a legal permanent resident. All right? And pretty soon, with her English doing so well, hopefully soon, assuming Trump allows her to become a U.S. citizen, she'll be a U.S. citizen next year. We'll see. I'm going to have to be checking the legal status of what Trump's trying to do with these 39 countries. If he's going to keep on jacking these people around, and if he continues to quit, if he doesn't comply with the federal judge in Rhode Island, there's going to be more lawsuits coming his way. It's going to hurt him. In November, we have midterm elections. So why do they call it midterm elections? Well, it's the middle of President Trump's term. He's president for 4 years. In November, he'll be in office 2 years. So that's the middle of his tour. So it's called a midterm election. And right now, there are communists winning in Colorado, in New York. Communists are kicking Democrats to the curb and slowly but surely taking over this country. Why is that? How many people have been decimated under communism? Hundreds of millions of people have lost their lives because of communism, right? That's just in the history books. I'm not making that up. So why are people voting for this crap? Well, perhaps if we should be more kinder and gentler towards people, Republicans perhaps need to be a little bit more passionate and empathetic towards legal immigrants in this country instead of attacking them. Elections have consequences. People basically are stupid, right? Anybody that votes for a communist has got the IQ of a mosquito. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, look at communist countries. Cuba. They don't even have water, electricity, or internet. They don't have medicine. They have nothing. They're in poverty. That's what communism is. It's everybody is equally miserable. Under capitalism, at least you have an opportunity to make something of yourself and build something from nothing. Elon Musk came to this country from Canada via South Africa, and he built something from nothing. He lived in a one-bedroom apartment. His rent was $400 a month. It was hard for him just to keep the refrigerator filled with food. Now he's a trillionaire. Capitalism lifts everybody up. Communism brings everybody down. So New York wants to be communist. Okay. Now Colorado. Okay. Let them run there. Let them go down that little path and see how their lives change for the worse. And then they'll look at Colombia. They elected a communist, Petro. So for 4 years, they were miserable. 4 years of misery. I was in Colombia with Karina when he was elected president. I said, the Colombians aren't going to like this guy. And they didn't, and they don't. And now they have a conservative Republican, I guess it's the only way I can describe it, who is now president of Colombia. And the president of Colombia is also a U.S. citizen. I don't know if you know that or not, but the president of Colombia also has U.S. citizenship. So I think that Colombia is going to do very well in the next 4 years, economically, etc., as long as they continue following the Constitution of Colombia, which is basically a blueprint of the U.S. Constitution. And if Trump would follow the Constitution, life here would be good for him too. But he's having problems because I understand his mindset. He's a capitalist CEO. He's an entrepreneur. He's an executive officer who is used to running a company by writing stuff down and putting his name to it. But in politics, that's not how our country works. The Congress runs the country. They're our representatives. We elect them and they work for us and we tell them what we want. Okay. Then the Senate steps in and then the president signs the laws into law. So if President Trump 2 years ago had told the Congress to put together legislation that would stop babies becoming American citizens born to illegal immigrants, the legislation could already be on the books by now and already signed and ratified. But he does the easy way because he's an executive. He's a capitalist entrepreneur, not a politician. So he went the quickest way, which was an executive order, which got thrown out by the Supreme Court. Follow the Constitution. Let's see here. David, Justice Thomas was correct. Yeah. Copperhead, if someone decides to get involved with the Filipina who I was engaged with, they do a K1. Is there anything going to show up as far as that goes? Just asking out of curiosity. Yeah, it's going to show up that you withdrew a K1 against her. You filed a K1 visa for her. She got approved. You withdrew the case because you are not going to bring that lady to the United States. And if she meets somebody else who is an American citizen, she can still go through the K1 visa process with him. And hopefully he's as smart as you and figures her out before he gets ripped off. Copperhead, does Trump like to buck the system? He doesn't like the way the Congress has set things up, which is checks and balances. He is used to getting his way. He put his name on the Kennedy Center because he's used to getting his way. You can't do that. The Congress appoints names to government buildings of that magnitude. The Congress appointed John F. Kennedy's name to the John F. Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. Not John F. Kennedy. President Trump decided to throw his name up there alongside Kennedy's. Only Congress can do that. And he spent millions of dollars changing everything and doing this, and now his name's being ripped off of the Kennedy Center because what he did was illegal. He is telling the State Department, do not adjudicate green cards for families from 75 countries, Colombia, Morocco, Brazil, etc., etc. You can't do that. Only Congress can do that. He told people from 39 countries who have already been vetted in the United States, like Karina, we're not going to adjudicate your green cards anymore. We're going to put you all on an indefinite pause. You can't do that. Only Congress can do that. So a federal judge in Rhode Island told Trump, you can't do that. And now Trump is ignoring the federal judge. He's going to get burned. He's going to probably be impeached if the Democrats get in office in January. He's going to be impeached for all this stuff he's doing. I guess he doesn't care, right? Well, let's see what happens. David, Congress used to run the country. Now they have hearings and write letters. The Congress, this Congress is the laziest Congress that I've ever seen in my life. Democrats and Republicans, they're lazy. They do nothing but collect $175,000 a year, and they do nothing. Right now, the Senate's in recess. What does recess mean? That means they're on vacation for 3 months. Well, it's, the founding fathers of our country, when they put together the Congress and the Senate, they didn't intend it to be a full-time vacation or a massive paycheck for each member. You come into the Congress, you serve your term, and you go home with minimal income. If you are a millionaire businessman and then you run for Congress, you should be making $40,000 a year plus the benefits, not $175,000 a year. 40 grand a year, and then you do your get maxed out on 3 terms, which is 6 years, and then you go home. Term limits. Cut their pay down, cut down the pay, cut the pay of the senators in the Congress, cut it by 75%. Cut their pay. They don't earn their paychecks. All they do is sit around on their asses and they vote when they feel, they vote for different bills. And then they go to their, nighttime restaurant place where they hang out in Washington. And they don't do anything really at all. They're a waste of money. When Republicans say they're going to balance the budget, they haven't balanced the budget since when? When was the last time a federal budget was balanced in the United States? Was it during the Clinton administration when the Republicans controlled the Congress? I think so. Clinton signed off on it because he had no choice, really, because Congress controlled everything. Congress used to run the country. That's true. Now they couldn't even run a dog and pony show. David used the Texas model where they just get a per diem. Yeah. Just get per diem, pay them a per diem for their time in office. It's insane. 175 grand a year to pay a member of Congress to sit on their ass and work maybe 5 months out of the year, 6 months out of the year, and then they come back to their constituents and you can't find them because they're hiding somewhere because they didn't keep the promises they kept, which got them elected. I'm not just bashing Democrats, I'm bashing Republicans too, both sides. I'm independent. You know, it's like Trump is messing with immigration. He's doing good things with immigration and he's doing bad things. Blocking illegals from coming to this country is a good thing. We don't know what their medical history is. We don't know what their criminal history is. They haven't been vetted. We know nothing about them. In order for Karina to come to the United States, she was investigated by Interpol, the Colombian security police, the Venezuelan security police, and she had to get a character reference letter from the president of Colombia just to start. And then when she got to America, she had to go to a biometrics in New Orleans in March of 2024, and then again in June of 2026, where the FBI does a thorough check on her. Karina is fully vetted for her green card. She has got absolutely fully vetted. But Trump says, no, we're going to put a pause on green card holders from Venezuela. Why? Why is that? You should be focusing on deporting illegal immigrants from Venezuela, not blocking green card holders from Venezuela who've already been vetted. I'm sick of them. November is going to be very interesting to see what happens. I think the Republicans will probably keep control of the Senate, but I think they're going to get their asses kicked in the Congress, and they're going to lose the Congress. The House of Representatives is going to go back to the Democrats, and I don't even see Democrats anymore. I see communists running the country. Why is that? I haven't figured it out. Everybody, I guess during COVID, everybody got used to sitting around with all the stores closed, sitting around getting their handouts from the government. They're not used to working anymore. And now these people have grown up, and it's time for them to vote, and they're voting for the communists because communists want to implode the capitalist system, turn our country into a communist country, and then everybody works for the government, just like in North Korea and China and Cuba. Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to make this a political rant because I'm not political. I'm just sick and tired of my tax dollars going to fund a Congress that's useless. Why haven't we got a balanced budget? Why is it the U.S. Congress spends money we don't have? How much did it cost us to attack Iran? What, $29-30 billion? Where did we get that money from? We borrowed it from China, maybe, right? We borrow money from China to attack Iran. I don't know. I'm tired of it. Our country needs a total cleansing in regards to hiring people, electing people that can follow the Constitution of the United States, because the Constitution is what's going to save our country, not people. David, if you are worried about security, then they shouldn't allow dual citizens to serve in federal government offices. Well, in my opinion, if you want to run for Congress, you should have been born in the United States and raised in the United States. If you want to run for the Senate, you should be born and raised in the United States. Just like the president. If you want to be president, you have to be over 34 years of age and born in the United States. Right? But we have people running for, I don't know. We got Mandani, the mayor of New York, he's a communist from Uganda that became a naturalized American. Okay, he's a naturalized American. But how did he get through that process? He's a communist. So did he lie on his immigration paperwork when he filed his N-400? He said he's never been a member of the Communist Party, doesn't support communist ideology, and now he's running New York like a communist. Why does he still have U.S. citizenship? Why hasn't the Trump administration investigated that? I don't know. President Trump says he loves Venezuelans. He wants to make Venezuela the 51st state. Okay, great. And then the State Department spokesperson, I spoke with her also, and she said that Venezuela is not a national security threat to the United States. Okay, so why is Trump trying to block Venezuelans from green cards? Doesn't make any sense, right? They're just running their mouths. November, watch what happens. See what happens. David, the native-born rule should apply to governors as well. I agree. If you want to be a governor of a state, you need to be born in the state that you're running for governor for. If you want to become governor of Texas, you should be born in Texas, born and raised. If you want to be governor of Florida, you should be born and raised in Florida. Hawaii, if you want to be governor of California, you need to be born and raised in California. You're right. That's how that's common sense. And people from foreign countries shouldn't be able to buy land in this country. Why is it people from communist China are buying up land around military bases in the United States? I can't buy land in the Philippines. If I see a 10-acre plot of land in the Philippines, the Philippine government won't allow me to purchase it because I'm not Filipino. But a Filipino can buy 10 acres of land in the United States. Doesn't make sense, does it? But that's just the way the cookie crumbles and what the Congress allows and doesn't allow. The Congress of the United States have a lot of power if they know how to use it. And if they were to get off their backsides and do something useful with their day instead of attacking Trump. Well, I attack Trump not because I dislike Trump. I don't dislike President Trump. I just don't like him violating the Constitution of the United States. That's my only issue with Trump. I like him personally. He's a very, very good person. He's a good person. But he is not following the Constitution. And I have to hold him accountable for that by telling him, you're messing up, dude. Follow the rules. You can't run this country like a CEO when you have members of Congress and a Senate that are going to give you direction. We have a triangulated system, and then we have the judicial system that keeps everybody else in check. And the Supreme Court is keeping Trump in check. I'm sure every person in the Supreme Court, except those three, agree with Trump, and they agree what he said, if you're born in this country and your parents are illegal immigrants, you cannot have U.S. citizenship. I agree with that, and so does probably the Supreme Court agree with that. But there's a process in place that you have to follow to fix that. An executive order is not the process. David, it's a free for all foreign corporations to come here. Yeah, it's crazy. It's insane, right? But they're tightening down. The Trump administration is tightening down on EB-1 visas, student visas, work visas. He's tightening the lid down hard and tight. Copperhead, were you able to get in on Elon's IPO? No, I didn't buy any stock from SpaceX. I didn't do that. David, they are flying the Chinese flag here at a local corporation. Right, it's insane, right? The communist flag is going to be flying all over Colorado soon. It's flying in New York. Mamdani put a rent freeze on capitalists who own real estate in New York, who rent out their spaces. Can no longer raise the rent when stuff has got to go up in price. Communism 101. It's insane. What's going to happen is those apartments, those people that own that property in New York who cannot raise rent on apartments in order to do maintenance on those apartments, the apartments are going to go into disrepair. And then what's Mamdani going to do? He's going to take over. He's going to do an illegal seizure of the property, just like communists do, and take it and turn it into a government-ran office or a government-ran shop or a government-ran apartment. Sucks to live in New York right now. I wouldn't live there. No, I didn't buy SpaceX stock. No. I remember I bought stock in BP, was it BP? I bought stock in BP and then a month after I bought all the stock in BP, the oil rig blew up in the Gulf of America. Then it was the Gulf of Mexico. And I lost a ton of money. So I got burned pretty heavy in buying stock. So I'm more interested in investing in real estate, not so much stock. It's too volatile. So SpaceX stock opened at 135. So I would have bought it at $135 a share. Now it's $157. Yeah, and in about a year from now, it will be probably $400 or $500. SpaceX is the future of our country in regards to space. NASA is like a dinosaur. You know, the National Aeronautical Space Administration, NASA, is a dinosaur. SpaceX is the future of space for the United States. IPO almost always fall below the offering. Yeah, you're right. But here's the thing. If you come to this country and you get your green card, which you will if you follow the channel, I'm going to help you get your green cards. I'm going to help you get your K1 visas. If you listen to me, if you pay attention to what I tell you, you will succeed. If you've got any kind of a criminal history, make sure that you get a immigration attorney to vet your court records first before you submit a K1 visa application. Be patient during the process. You don't need an immigration attorney to file a K1 visa. You don't need an immigration attorney to file a 2-year green card application or a 10-year green card. Karina and I, we filed for her 10-year green card. It only took me 20 minutes to fill out the I-751. And then over the last 2 years, we collected the evidence. You just got to know what evidence to include in the application, whether it's for a 2-year green card. Now, with a 2-year green card, you only have a couple of months to get your evidence together. You got what? You get your I-94 is good for 90 days. You want to get everything done in 90 days. So you don't have much time to get your evidence together. Immigration understand that. But remember, when you file for your 2-year green card, do not make any mistakes on the paperwork, especially on the I-864. Anything you do with paperwork right now is going to be scrutinized by artificial intelligence. Everything you submit to immigration, the I-129F, the 485, it's all going to be scanned by artificial intelligence first before a human looks at it. And then the artificial intelligence is going to give the human being, the immigration officer, his or the computer's opinion on the paperwork. So if you make a mistake on your paperwork, AI is going to catch it within a millisecond. Don't make any mistakes on the paperwork. David, I'm still holding out for USCIS to treat us fairly. USCIS wants to treat you fairly. The problem is not USCIS. The problem is we have a president that does not want legal immigration into this country. When he came out 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and said he welcomes people come here legally, come through the golden arches of legality, follow the rules, people are doing that. And they're still getting green cards denied. So what he said wasn't really true. So we're halfway through his term almost. And in November, he's going to probably lose all his power. A lot of it, because people are sick and tired of the way he treats American citizens' families who are green card holders. There's a lot of people that vote whose families members are green card holders. Think about this. A green card holder used to be able to get a small business loan, an SBA or whatever. Trump took that away from green card holders. How insane is that? That's absolutely ridiculous, because green card holders make up about, I'm trying to think what the number was, but they're a good proportion of people in this country who run small businesses who are green card holders, who sometimes need to take out a loan to cover expenses. Trump took that away from them. That's ridiculous. Trump is anti-immigrant every which way but loose. Now, I don't dislike President Trump personally. He's a good man. He's an entrepreneur. He just made $1 billion, whatever it was, in Bitcoin. He's a businessman that's doing fantastic. But he has yet to learn that this country runs under a representative government called the Congress. And you just can't arbitrarily change stuff around without getting congressional approval first. And he's learning that lesson. Okay, guys. Karina, anything you want to say? Karina, what are you going to say?
See you Saturday.
See you Saturday?
Yeah.
How's your English, Karina?
Good.
It's good? What's your favorite, what's my favorite meal? What's my favorite comida?
Thailand food.
Oh, it's Thailand food? What else do I like to eat? What can I?
China.
Chinese food, Thai food. And Karina's favorite food is arepas. See that? You got to know everything about your beneficiary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Make sure if you come to this country, learn English. Karina is in English classes 4 times a week, just for the summer. I think it's over now, right? Now she's going to go back to 2 times a week. So here she is on a live stream. We'll be back. What's today? Wednesday? I'll be making some videos for July, and then I'll be back on a live stream on Saturday. Karina, maybe she will be, maybe she's not. See how big she is. She's working hard. She's tired. She's in school. She's got all kinds of things going on. And if you join as a member today, I'll mail you this free bag of coffee. If you join as a member, I'll mail you this free bag of coffee. Go into the members only videos, get my phone number, send me a text message. You joined as a member, and I'll mail it to you, or Karina will. We will see you at the next live stream, and we appreciate you hanging out with us.